Hey everybody, I'm Barb Nagel. I'm the community manager of Known Co-working, and I want to welcome you today to this episode of the Connection Corner. I'm really excited to have Kenyetta Banks from the Women's Business Development Council today as my guest. Before I bring Kenyetta on, I do want to take a few minutes to say a few things about Known in general. So it's a dynamic co-working community to connect entrepreneurs across their fields of expertise, endeavors, and experiences. And we started as just a plain co-working space in downtown New Haven, and we're still the only co-working space downtown, but we've expanded into a multifaceted entrepreneur support organization. As a reminder, Known Co-working has hourly, daily, and monthly plans for dedicated desks and offices, as well as conference rooms and Zoom rooms and event spaces for rent for anybody. If you'd like to know more about the space, you can send me an email. I can be reached at barb@knowncoworking.com. You can also check us out on our website, which is nhvknown.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Known Co-working, and you can DM us there. One of the ways that we support entrepreneurs is through these virtual programs. So we have this one, the Connection Corner, and Digital Media Sync. You can catch replays of all of our episodes on the Known website under Known Live. Digital Media Sync is hosted by Julia Gambale. She is the social media maven of Agents of Branding. She also happens to be the entrepreneur in residence at the New Haven Free Public Library right now. And she's got well over 50 episodes for free on our website to teach you everything you need to know about all kinds of digital media, including best practices, what kinds of databases are useful, marketing, etc. And then this show, The Connection Corner, is a place for entrepreneurs, creators, thinkers, and innovators to share either their own entrepreneurial journeys or how they support the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the greater New Haven area, which is what Kenyatta will be talking about today. If you or anyone you know would like to be featured on one of these shows, send me an email. Again, it's barb@knowncoworking.com. Our purpose in both the physical and virtual spaces is to make connections between people. We're here to help you get connected, inspired, and known. And speaking of known, I host, virtual networking every Monday from 4 to 5. You can find the link on our website under events, and you can hop in for any portion of that hour. And then I also host in-person networking at Known every Friday from 3 to 5. It's geared towards professionals and entrepreneurs. We're at 139 Orange Street on the 4th floor. That's in downtown New Haven. And even if you're not someone who really likes networking, I'm always here. My job is to connect people to the people, organizations, and resources, et cetera, that they want and need to meet. So I will introduce you if you're shy. Now, that being said, I want to bring on Kenyetta Banks. Kenyetta, welcome to the Connection Corner.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Me too. So I am going to put up your email address and your website so people will know how to get in touch with you. But if you would start by telling us maybe a little bit about yourself, and then of course about the WBDC, what you do and your role there and all that. And then, you share whatever you'd like to share, and then I'll hop back in, and I'm sure that I will have questions for you.
Sure. So I started off my education and my career not in business. It was really social work and education. So my undergrad is psychology, child development, and then my master's is in public administration, nonprofit management. And with that, I used to do more social work positions. So I've been a pregnancy teen counselor, a labor and delivery coach. I work for the Moms Program in Norwalk, Healthy Families Network, the PTL teams, all those different type of nonprofits. I've also worked for Sawyer School, which was originated through the Butler Business School. So I did career services for them. But with all this in mind, I had an opportunity to help my friend start a business in Bridgeport. And I was pretty good with the computer. So she asked me to help her write a business plan. And I really had no clue how to do that. So I this was probably 26 years ago. I'm probably telling my age right now. But I went to SCORE and they supported me. And my SCORE mentor was amazing. And I believe he's still a SCORE mentor. His name is Juan. And he gave me all the tools and resources to get me in shape for a business plan. From there, I took other classes at Sacred Heart, Fearful You, University of Bridgeport, just so I could understand how to write a business plan. And it took me literally like almost 2 years to complete this business plan while helping to save for the down payment for this space in Bridgeport. But things happened, and again, trial and error, things just didn't work the way it was supposed to. And we never got that spot. But the education that I learned about writing a business plan was very, very helpful. And opened in Stanford for a part-time business plan support worker. I applied and I got hired for, I think it was 9 hours a week, and it transferred into 15 hours a week. And then before you know it, my role turned into a program manager, to where I was helping develop programs. And this is with the Women's Business Development Council. That was back in, 2007. Yeah, 2007. And that role just became greater and greater. And we used to have just one big room with maybe 4 desks, I believe. And from there, I just grew with the organization. And I just continued to learn more about business plan writing, understanding how to start a business, with the different industries, focus on access to capital for individuals. And then you have it. And then, of course, because I am passionate about supporting females and helping, young people just, be better and find a career, I left WBDC twice for personal endeavors, and something will happen and they will find me and ask me for another position, and I will come back to them. So WBDC has been passionate for the past 14 and a half years I've been with them. And every year it just gets better and better. And even with the pandemic, it was a really great way of helping women entrepreneurs with navigating through the system and trying to figure out their business. So that's basically, that in a nutshell.
Great. What a cool story. I love how you've been like there and back and there and back and there and back. So what's your role right now with WBDC?
So my title is a program manager for the Central Region, which is basically New Haven. So I cover Greater New Haven, Hartford County, and also Naugatuck Valley.
Okay, great. And tell us about WBDC in general. What's the mission? I mean, clearly you obviously serve women and developing their businesses, but what's the mission? Where does the funding come from? All that sort of thing.
Okay, so the main goals that we look at for our mission is training and education for women to help them launch their business and help them scale. The true goal with starting WBDC with our amazing executive director, CEO, I should say, founder and CEO, Fran Pastore. She saw an opportunity to make this happen. And her and Dorothy Bratcher, who's also the co-founder of WBDC, they literally started this organization at the kitchen table. And they saw a great opportunity through the Small Business Administration, and they applied and they got it. And Fran Pastore, if you don't know her, she is an amazing individual. She really tries to support all businesses with making sure that they are empowered, not just women. We support all businesses. Right now, we have about 5% of our clientele are men, but that doesn't mean that a man can't attend any of our programs. So with that being said, Fran just literally hit the ground running and made connections for us to kind of grow. And when I first started, we were probably a staff of 5, and now we're like a staff of maybe 28, I believe, or 30.
Wow.
So yeah, it has totally grown, and she continues to hit the ground running, supporting individuals to figure out like how can we navigate this pandemic without getting a loan. Let's figure out grant opportunities, and we are funded through the Small Business Administration, and we also get other funds from individuals and donors and banks and other foundations as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. So I got to find my way back onto the screen here. Sorry about that. So you were telling me before we got on the air, you have a variety of different grant programs. So I'd love for you to tell the audience about what they are and who they're for and how they apply and what it means when you get one.
Sure. So the first one that we have is called the Equity Match Grant, and that started about a year and a half ago. And basically, Equity Match Grant is a grant that you can get between $2,500 to $10,000 on a project that you need to grow your business. So it's not for overhead, it's not for inventory, because that's not going to bring people to your door. It's for more marketing or some type of training that you need, or some type of like expansion where you can have more customers come to your business. And with that, our fourth round just ended this past Sunday. But before this fourth round, we have granted 96 individuals, and
Nice.
it has reached over $1 million in grant
Awesome.
money. So it's been pretty amazing. Pretty
Awesome.
amazing.
And how many grantees do you get per round? Or is it decided by grantees or is it dollar amount that you decide per round?
Not really dollar amount. It really depends on how many we can push through. So with the application process, it's a little difficult because again, we're reading applications, and then because some people we may know, some people we don't know, they may not be affiliated with us. We decided to have an external grant review committee, and they look at the applications, and they're the deciding factor on who should go through for the funding. And
Mhm.
many people don't go for the full 10,000. Some may just go for like 4,000. They just may
Mhm.
probably need some type of equipment.
Mhm.
So we don't look at the dollar amount. It's just basically how many do we have in this pot,
Mhm.
and then we kind of figure out from there how to move forward.
Mhm.
But with that process, for the ones who don't get accepted, we give them a call and we tell them, don't be upset. Let's do some
Mhm.
business advising. Let's figure out what you
Okay,
need.
great.
And you apply for the next round. Like, we don't want
Awesome.
people to give up,
Right.
just because it is competitive. And we don't look at, the size, but some of the questions, some people just don't really understand about their business. So it's like a
Mhm.
learning tool as well.
Mhm.
If I always say it's like a chopped up business plan.
Yeah.
And when you say business plans, people run away because they don't want to do business plans.
Yeah.
But we try to help them understand their business. And the most important part of this grant is understanding their financials. What is
Mhm.
your profit? What's your revenue? What are you going to forecast for the next 3 years?
Mhm.
And that's really difficult if you're not a finance person.
Right.
So we help them with that with one-on-one counseling. And then we also did info sessions so people could understand the process, to know
Mhm.
that we are here. We're not just going to leave them out, give them an application, be like, okay, good luck. We try to
Yeah.
help them do the whole process as well.
Right. And this is the program that you are a program manager for?
This is something so we have an equity match grant team, just so we can kind of look at the applications as well, because it's a lot of sorting, it's a lot of
Okay.
hand holding, and most of our business advisors are a part of this EMG team, and we
Mhm.
look at the applications, make sure that they are qualified, they're eligible, they meet
Mhm.
the standards of what we're looking for, and then we kind of push them through to the external
Mhm.
committee.
Gotcha.
Um,
So I'm interested in why it's called the Equity Match Grant. Can you explain that?
Sure. So one part of the component is you need to have at least 25% of a match that you're asking for. So if you're asking for 10,000, we want you to put up to 2,500, and that can either be something that you purchased in the past, or something that's already in your bank account, or something that you could just put into your account while we're doing the application.
Okay.
But with that being said, if you are in with the DECD, if you are in an economically distressed city, that can be waived.
Oh, nice. Okay, good to know. But the
Hmm.
idea is that you want somebody who's already got some kind of traction and can show like I've got something here, and I'm not
Exactly.
just going to take from you with not putting anything into the pot. Okay.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of clients who, so to be eligible, you have to have within the last 12 months, at least $25,000 that you have in revenue, and no
Okay.
more than 2 million.
Okay.
And some of them say, maybe I got to 20,000, but
Mhm.
the reason why we hit that is because we know a lot of clients who haven't gotten 25,000. Can you imagine how many applications we
Oh, yeah,
received?
yeah. You have to
So
have a
many.
bar. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. But even with that being said, we want to make sure that this business is thriving and definitely has some type of following to where it will grow, it will sustain, and also be
Mhm.
able to hire. In the last 3 rounds, all of our clients have pivoted amazingly. I mean, they have turned around their profits. They have
That's awesome. I love
or
it.
they have grown out or they need to hire more people.
Mhm.
It's like enlightening to see like this really made a difference,
Yeah,
and
I love it.
it makes sense. So
Of course.
we
Yeah, yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like in some ways the Knownpreneurs Growth Lab that we have here, it's a BIPOC business accelerator program, and we ask folks to have at least 50,000 in revenue. It doesn't have to be in the last year though, but in the last like 2 or 3 years,
mhm.
because we want to make sure that they have some kind of traction because we're interested not in helping people get started, but in helping them grow. And it sounds like, you're trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Um, all
And then
right.
we do
So,
have another grant for so WBDC also has a child care initiative. And with that being said, they have 4 grant opportunities. Their grant opportunities will start probably sometime in March. It's from startup grants to scaling up to
okay.
emergency grants. And
Mhm.
emergency grants are $25,000. And if you had like, water in your basement, or if you have some type of like, you need a fence for your front.
Mhm.
The emergency grants really come in hand with that, but that's not part of my position. But we do have this child care initiative. And with that being said, we also have now a Spanish component for WBDC. So we
Mhm.
have 2 Spanish speaking advisors that can help people who cannot speak the language at all, which is great because normally we would just refer to other partner organizations to help these clients, but now we
Mhm.
have it in house. So
Awesome.
yeah, so we're reaching more and more people who can't speak English, and it's pretty
Mhm.
amazing. We also have bilingual programs as well.
Oh, fantastic. That's so good to hear. So let's just say somebody gets this equity match grant, do you just give them the money and that's it? Or do they have an advisor that works with them through the process? I assume they have some kind of reporting they must have to do. How does that all work?
Yes, yes. So once they get the funding, and the best thing about getting the funding is most of the advisors will get a list of people that they need to call and tell them, like, congratulations. And it's amazing because you may have people just get quiet and then they start screaming or they start crying, or um, you just never know the excitement that they have. From there, we make sure that they know that they have to do some type of picture, some type of like interview. They may get a visit from the lieutenant governor. The
Oh,
lieutenant governor will bring Channel 8. So, like, it's all these different things that will happen, and we want them to be prepared for these things. And then we also ask them for like a testimony for, depending on what they're looking for their growth of the business.
mhm.
And once we give them their check, sometimes we do like another photo op with them, either at their place of business or we do it someplace at the district in New Haven.
Mhm.
Um, but that's after that you're done. But then they do have advisors, and they will check in 2-3 months, see what's going on. Sometimes some of their projects has changed or altered. They'll let us know,
Mhm.
but then we check in to make sure that they're on the right track.
Mhm.
And then we also make sure that they, with this extra money, that we want to make sure that the foundations, the finances for the foundation stays the same, because
Mhm.
it may alter. This is things that you're just thinking about. So
Mhm.
things do change. So we do have the advisors
Right.
to help them with that. And it's been
Mhm.
pretty successful. And most of, no one has complained so far. So we're not like bugging them
Yeah.
constantly. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because we know entrepreneurs are busy, busy, busy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And are there other, besides for the people who apply for grants, are there other trainings, et cetera, that WBDC provides for the
Oh,
public?
absolutely. Yes. So before the pandemic, we used to do all our programs in person, in different locations. So I was like called the traveling program because I would do them in New Haven, Hartford, Waterbury, wherever I needed to be, I was
Mhm.
there. The pandemic happened, so now we're doing everything virtual, which is good because now we're reaching more people.
Right.
They don't have to go out in the cold. They don't have to worry about parking.
Right.
So so pandemic happened and we were literally helping people just navigate through this crisis, and we
Mhm.
stopped all of our normal programming. We continued our regular programming this past fall, and our program consists of things like exploring entrepreneurship, QuickBooks Online, GPS, business plan clinic, things like that to get people ready for planning again. And this is our winter season right now. So after this season, we'll go right into spring, and it'll go into more heavy programs to help them with their business plans, their financials, which again, people hate, but we do have finance classes, profit
Mhm.
and loss
Right.
classes,
Right.
pricing strategies. And yeah, so we basically rotate our classes, but we do add in new things that our clients are asking for.
Mhm. Fantastic. I love it. So I don't know if you saw that comment, but somebody on YouTube was like, oh, perfect. I needed this. So my guess is they'll be following up with you.
Good, good.
Is there anything else you want us to know about the WBDC or the trainings that you provide that you haven't
Um,
had an opportunity to share yet?
Sure. I think it's funny because I've been with the organization for so many years. I think everybody knows about us, and that's not the case. So
No, it's not.
I just want everyone to know that we are here and we will support you in whatever your business is. And for those businesses that are, we have a lot of businesses that are not really making money. They don't know why. And I think some of them are intimidated to come for support and help. But we're here to help you figure this out. You're not out here alone. Being a business owner is very scary. And especially if you put all your heart, blood, sweat, tears, and
Mhm.
you can't figure it out, we're here
Right.
to help you with that. So
Yeah.
just we're open doors. We answer our phones. That's one thing we do. We answer our phones. And then we also make sure that you get the right help that you need. So if you just need to talk about scaling up or branding or just figuring out your pricing, those
Mhm.
things can be definitely delivered to you. And like
Mhm.
we're virtual. And we support you in all endeavors, and we just don't want you to sit around and think that no one's here to support. We're here, and we cover the entire state of Connecticut. So
Yeah, that's
just reach out.
fantastic. So do you have, excuse me, do you have like webinars recorded on your website or anything like that, like free trainings that people can take?
Yes, we do. So, WBDC is also a nonprofit. So, just let people know that we're not asking for like a membership fee or asking to pay. Our advising is no charge, and predominantly all of our core classes are no charge. We do charge for series classes. That just takes a little bit more manpower. Those are about 9 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, things like that. Those have a
Mhm.
charge to it. But we also have a reduced fee for individuals who can afford that particular
Oh,
amount.
good. Okay.
And with that, we make sure that with these classes, we started recording them. So we have a new e-learning library, and it's
Awesome.
basically you can go on, register for classes, and those go from the concept of exploring entrepreneurship all the way down to QuickBooks Online. So it's pretty, and then we also have a contracting. So I did a contracting class with the SBA that's recorded, and that's
Mhm.
also on the website as well.
Mhm. So you mentioned the SBA, you mentioned SCORE at the beginning, and then I think before the call, you mentioned CEDF, because I think you're doing something with them later. What's the relationship between, like, it's clear what the relationship with the SBA is, but do you have a relationship with SCORE and with CEDF?
We do. So with SCORE, the SBA, Small Business Administration, they fund SCORE, they fund the Veterans Association, they also fund the Women's Association as well. So we're all under one umbrella. So a lot of our collaboration is either depending on resources as far as finances. That's the biggest thing. We need more finance classes. We need additional people to teach them because everyone talks a little bit different. And some
Mhm.
people can get what other people say and don't get what the other person
Yeah,
said.
right.
So we do, do programs together whenever we can. And then we have partner organizations like CEDF. They support with, we call them our nonprofit lenders. So if
Okay.
you can't get a regular commercial loan from a bank, we try to give you the opportunity to go to a nonprofit lender, and they have the same regulations as a bank, but they're a community bank. So they kind of help you with the process. And
Mhm.
having a partnership, they want to make sure that this person also start this business on the right foot, make sure that they have everything done before they even get any type of loan. So those are the partnerships that we have. And like I said before, Fran has made sure that all our advisors, definitely talk about, keeping these partnerships open and alive because, again, everyone has different needs. So we want to make sure everyone gets everything that they need.
Okay. So lastly, I wonder if there's a particular story of a business. You said, there was some really great victories that people had. Is there any particular story that stands out for you that you'd like to share? Because we all love a good story. So is there some business that you just feel so like over the moon about that you were able to help support them and give them the kind of like cash injection that they needed to stabilize?
So there is one that really stands out, and it's because she was my first initial client back at the government center. Um, and she came in to start a doggy business. And she said, all I want to do is watch people's dogs and maybe take them for a walk, and that's it. And she went through our class, which is now called GPS. Back then it was called, I think, like Fast Track or something like that. She went through the class, and back then it was 12 weeks. um, by the end of that class, she said, you know what? I'm going to have a doggy daycare. Oh, okay. So, of course, that's more investment, more money.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, she started a year later with brick and mortar doggy daycare. She was open for almost 13 years.
Wow.
And due to pandemic and everything that happened, she closed her business because of the pandemic. But she did it
Mhm.
for 13 years, and she was a one-woman show. She did
Wow. I
everything.
can't even imagine how much work that must have been, but God bless her. That must-
Absolutely. And she
That's
also did overnights. She did overnights as well. So
fantastic.
she did the boarding. So and
Okay.
she lived in the space as well. So she was
Oh,
with
goodness.
dogs for 13
24/7.
years.
God
And when she
bless her.
told me she was gonna close, it was a little hard for me to hear. I'm like, you're the first
Yeah.
business that I seen, like,
Yeah.
we cut a ribbon together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she was like, I need a break, and I'm gonna get a trailer, and I'm gonna go on the road, and I'm gonna find my new career. And now she's back, and she's got a new job, and she is so happy. And
Mm.
even though she closed her business, that was a huge success.
Oh my
13
goodness,
years.
13 years. Yeah, that's
And
fantastic.
she did an amazing job, and they miss her clients miss her.
Yeah.
And she said, you never know, maybe in a couple of years I'll do something different, but that's what you call a true entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So she did it the right way.
Mm.
And yeah, so that's a huge success in my eyes.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I think we're going to end. Is there anything else that you want to share that you haven't had the opportunity to?
Nothing much, but I do remember you from other opportunities back
Right.
in.
Yes. Yes. When we had our phone call to set up the show, I remember thinking, I know her name from somewhere. And it turned out I worked at Yale on a project called the Yale Bridgeport Gear Up Partnership, and Kenyatta had applied and interviewed for a position on that project. I don't, how many years ago? I don't
That
even,
was, yeah, that was a long
yeah,
time ago.
yeah, quite a long time ago. And I was like, I didn't remember her face, but I definitely remembered her name. I was like, oh no, I know her from. So it's a small world,
It
small
really
world.
is. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah, wonderful. Well, if you wouldn't mind sticking around for a moment, I'm going to take you off the screen and just chat with you for just a moment after I close things out here. But thank you
Sure.
so much for
Yeah,
joining us.
thank you for having me. I'm really,
Yes, and
thank
thank
you.
you for all you do. All right, I'll be with you in just a moment. All right, thank you everybody for joining us today on the Connection Corner. Please be sure to check out the replays of all of our episodes of this show in Digital Media Sync on our website, which is nhvknown.com under Known Live. And stay tuned for more episodes that support entrepreneurs on their journeys to become more successful businesses. Take care now. Thanks for joining us.